Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ana Figueroa, and I am Congresswoman Lucille Roybal-Allard's District Chief of Staff. Congresswoman Lucille Roybal-Allard represents the 40th Congressional District, which includes the communities of Bell Gardens, Commerce, Cudahy, Downey, Huntington Park, Maywood, Paramount, Vernon, and portions of Bellflower, East Los Angeles, Florence Firestone, and South Los Angeles. The Congresswoman is not able to be on this call because of a last-minute scheduling conflict with another conference call with members from the House Appropriations Committee regarding the Homeland Security Subcommittee, which she chairs. This conflict just came up this morning, so she apologizes for not being able to moderate this call herself, but she felt it was important to continue with the call as scheduled. Thank you to our guest presenters, Rigo Reyes and Polo Morales, for taking the time to share their knowledge with us today. Angelica Salas was also called away in a last-minute scheduling conflict, so Polo Morales will be presenting on behalf of CHIRLA. We'll start with some instructions on how this telephone town hall will work. All callers will be muted until after the presentations. If time allows, after the presentations, I will provide instructions on how to ask questions. The purpose of this call is to provide valuable information on resources for our immigrant families, and we want to get to our guest presenters and their valuable information quickly. However, first, I will take just a few minutes to provide a brief federal update from Congresswoman Roybal-Allard. As most of you know, the Trump administration has been perhaps the most anti-immigrant administration we've ever had in the White House. As a result, Congress was not able to secure the assistance immigrants deserved in the first 4 COVID-19 recovery bills signed into law. Congresswoman Roybal-Allard and her colleagues on the Congressional Hispanic Caucus and other minority caucus groups, and Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other members of the Democratic leadership fought tooth and nail trying to include resources for immigrants in each of those 4 bills. Unfortunately, the Trump administration and the Republican allies in the Senate refused to allow such assistance. However, as you may have heard, for the 5th COVID-19 recovery bill, the HEROES Act, Speaker Pelosi and Democrats decided to draft a bill that we believe better addresses the needs of the American people. The HEROES Act is being debated on the floor of the House of Representatives as we speak right now. Republicans are doing everything they can to defeat it by trying to add poison pills that will make it impossible for some Democrats to vote for it. If Democrats are successful in getting it passed in the House of Representatives today, we will have to fight with all our might for the U.S. Senate to pass the HEROES Act as it was drafted and send it to the President for signature. We don't know what the final outcome will be in today's vote, but since this bill was drafted by Democratic leadership in the House of Representatives, they were able to include resources for immigrants that they were not allowed to include in the previous bills. I'll highlight just a few of those items that were included in the HEROES Act. Democrats included language that will allow individuals with ITINs to receive cash relief provided in the CARES Act, meaning mixed status families can access stimulus checks. It also includes language that will provide an automatic extension of DACA and TPS work authorizations. It will allow free testing, treatment, and vaccines for all individuals, regardless of immigration status, by allowing the states to use Medicaid for this. HEROES would clarify that use of Medicaid for COVID-19 related purposes would not be considered in a public charge test. It would also allow undocumented students to access higher education financial relief. In addition, it would allow the HEROES Fund and hazard pay to be extended to individuals regardless of immigration status. And it also includes language to protect essential workers from deportation and allow for naturalization oath ceremonies to be administered remotely. We didn't get everything Congresswoman Roybal-Allard wanted for our communities, but she truly believes the HEROES Act is a good start to helping our communities, including our immigrant families, begin to recover from this pandemic. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, we are not sure what the final vote outcome will be today. We want you to know that our Washington, D.C. and Commerce staff are teleworking during this pandemic, but we remain available to help you with any federal issue or questions you may have. Our district office number is area code 323-721-8790. For those of you who live in our 40th Congressional District, please use our office as a resource when you have questions or don't know where to turn to for resources and help. We have some of the most caring staff with a genuine commitment to public service, and we will do everything we can to help you or try to provide your information to someone that might be able to help you. We also want everyone on this call to know that Congresswoman Roybal-Allard's website is available as a resource. Our staff updates the COVID-19 pages on the website as soon as we learn of any new information on resources available. The website address is roybal-allard.house.gov. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our first guest presenter. Rigo Reyes joined the LA County Department of Consumer and Business Affairs in 1995 when he discovered his passion for consumer protection. He has worked in various capacities to protect vulnerable consumers. In January 2017, Rigo was appointed to lead the Office of Immigrant Affairs to protect the rights and advance the interests of all immigrants in the County of Los Angeles. Rigo? Oh, Rigo, you're muted. Rigo, you're still muted.
How about now?
Okay, now we can hear you, but we cannot see you. The camera is facing the opposite.
So I'm camera shy. Let me see. How about now?
No, it's still facing. There you go.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you so much for convening this meeting. It is so crucial, as you mentioned at the beginning, that our communities, particularly those communities who don't get information that is timely, that is clear, and that is useful, do so. It's these times what we are going through require that we all get together, work together, and I think that's the only way we can get over this nightmare pandemic that we're all facing. And certainly your leadership, the Congresswoman's leading us in this effort, and provides the level of support that we need. Before I get going, I just wanted to dispel that, contrary to popular belief, Polo and I do not buy the two for one glasses. Even they look similar. We shop at different places. But I'm so glad, Polo, to join you on this chat too. I've seen all the work that you do out there, and we're so grateful for what you and CHIRLA and Kelly can all do. I want to start my comments from a sort of a broad perspective, and then I like to narrow it down to some very specific resources the county has for our immigrant communities in particular, and be available for questions. So I want to be brief to the extent possible. I want to remind everyone that the county made immigration a priority for the county, meaning that it was elevated to the highest level the county can elevate an issue alongside with homelessness, justice reform, children protection, and the like. So what that means is that by board policy, all departments, 36 departments were directed to support the well-being of all immigrants and their families and protect their rights. And our Office of Immigrant Affairs, as you mentioned, Anna, was created at the beginning of 2017, and really for two reasons. One, that we want to make sure that all immigrant communities know about the services the county has and that they get access to those services. So we put the immigration lens in how these services are provided to our communities, because we know that the immigration, the cultural, and the linguistic sensitivity have to be built in whatever we're trying to do. Otherwise, our residents are very apprehensive about government services. And so the one thing that works best for us is working with our partners who have built trust in all those communities, and not only just delivering the information about county services, but really helping us ensuring that the call to action is clear and that the communities trust when we say that the county cares, that the county is here to help, and that we actually have some resources like the ones I'm going to mention now. So as we know, people are always apprehensive about the impact that receiving public services may have on their immigration status. And by that, I mean the public charge concern that was so present over the last 18 months. And then right when the pandemic hit, the Supreme Court kicked the case down to the lower courts, but at the same time, it allowed the administration to implement the changes to public charge. I want to say three basic things about public charge. One is that very few people are impacted. For instance, permanent legal residents, those with green cards, are not impacted. People who are citizens, naturalized citizens, are not impacted. People with visas that we call humanitarian visas are, for the most part, not impacted, and that includes refugees and political asylees. So basically, those impacted are those who have some sort of a temporary visa status, or who are trying to enter the country and are trying to adjust to a permanent status. All that to say is that our office, with the Office of County Counsel, has trained nearly 13,000 county employees in small groups of about 35 each about public charge, what it means, the impact that the services they provide may or may not have on their clients, and asking them that if the clients need clarification, that they should be referred to our office for counseling and for referral to legal aid agencies such as Polos for one-on-one consultations. So do not stop from getting these services. Don't stop from getting a small child to the pediatrician's appointment because you feel that doing so may impact their immigration status. That's the message, because the services that children born here receive will not impact the status of the mom or the dad, even if they're undocumented. So healthcare is one big area where all our communities need help. Please remember that the county has a program we call My Health LA. And through this program, we provide health care services. Imagine this as a medical type of insurance policy. The ones people sign up for My Health LA, they get access to nearly 200 clinics in the community that receive funds from the county to provide services to immigrants, irrespective of their immigration status and certainly ability to pay. So in regard particularly to COVID-19, if you call 211. If you call us, if you call any county department, we will tell you where to go online, by phone. The first thing people need to do is sign up for the service, and then they can receive the treatment. So those who qualify for full Medi-Cal, those up to 25 years old, after the expanded coverage at the state level, will be helped about Medi-Cal. Enrollment is actually done through our Department of Public Social Services. And those who are older than 25, 26 and up, will qualify for a health alert. The bottom line is that no one in the county should go on without health care insurance if they need help because of their immigration status. I don't think that there are many counties that can say the same thing. And that benefit alone is of huge support to our communities who sometimes don't get the medical help they need because they don't have insurance, or they feel that their immigration status will be compromised. Two more things, and then I'll wrap up. In regard to tenants, another huge category group that needs help, particularly now. There is a program that the county launched, a rental assistance program through the Los Angeles Community Development Commission, LAGDA, that ends May 31st, and those who sign up may receive up to 3 months of rent help. So I encourage you to, I'll give you the phone number in a minute where you can call, find out about the program, sign up, get that support. But if you, for whatever reason, are unable to pay the rent, remember that the county put a countywide evictions ban that was retroactive from March 4th, and it runs through May 31st, that prohibits landlords from evicting a tenant because of his or her inability to pay rent due to the financial impact of COVID-19. So if you are unable to pay rent, all you have to do is let the landlord know, and they're prohibited from evicting you. If they still try to evict you, I recommend that you call us. We have, again, I'll give you the number in a minute, this help center set up to help tenants, to help workers, to help homeowners facing foreclosure, to get the information, file the complaints for the help they need. So remember, you may not be evicted because of non-payment. It doesn't mean that we don't have to pay the rent, at least as of now. There's some debate going on about that issue. But what it means is that we get the protection that for at least 12 months after the emergency is lifted, meaning from May 31st through 2020 through May 31st of 2021, we will have at least 12 months to come up with past due rent, and they may not assess penalties, interest, surcharges to the amount we are past due. So we get the protection of not getting evicted, and then we get the protection of stretching, paying back what we still owe, unless obviously there's some stimulus money or the county passes some other rule that would waive that rent and provide assistance to the landlords who also need the help in terms of foreclosure prevention and other things. The last item, and I'll stop, is workers. We know that, I mean, a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people had their hours reduced. If a person had authorization to work, my best recommendation that I would give my cousin, someone I know, is file for unemployment. And our Help Disaster Center has the people to answer the phones and tell us how to file for unemployment and what other benefits are available. If we have an undocumented immigrant who didn't have the right to work, doesn't have a Social Security, so they don't qualify for the CARES Act stimulus, the $400 that some people are receiving. Undocumented workers here in the States still qualify for three things. They may be eligible for at least three things. One is the disability insurance. So don't self-exclude. Give us a call. We can walk you through the process. Disability insurance, and then family paid leave. It's another benefit that's not conditioned on immigration status. And lastly, workers' comp. Those three worker benefits are available to eligible undocumented immigrants, and our Disaster Help Center has the information. And quickly, consumers who are victims of price gouging, who are victims of COVID-related scams like phony investments, phony cures, spam, identity theft, and the like, they can all call us and we will get them to the right place. So here are the numbers. For anything concerning renters, they can call directly at 833-233-7368. Or they can email us at rent@bcba.lacounty.gov. Our website is rent.lacounty.gov. The Disaster Help Center is a free toll number, 833-238-4450. The website is LA County Help Center, one word, lacountyhelpcenter.org, and you can get the information there. And if you want to email us, is disasterhelpcenter@lacounty.gov. If you have one bar left on your phone that is about to die and there's only one phone call you can make, I recommend you call your Office of Immigrant Affairs, and that is 800-593-8222. 593-8222, or our website is oia.lacounty.gov. There we will make sure that we connect you to the right place, that we give you the right information, and that you get the support you need. I'll stop here and I'll be available to the end for questions and answers.
Thank you very much, Rigo. I want to mention that if you're on the call and you did not RSVP, to please go ahead and email the RSVP email address with your contact information. And I apologize, I'm getting feedback, and I'm not sure why that is. But if you can please send an RSVP, even though it's after the call, with your contact information, and we will email you the phone numbers and website links that are being mentioned on today's call. Okay, thanks again, Rigo. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Apolonio, or as people that know him call him Polo, Apolonio Polo Morales. Polo is proud to serve the immigrant community as the Director of External Affairs for the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, more commonly known as CHIRLA. He has dedicated his life to advancing pro-immigrant policies and changing the anti-immigrant narrative in the United States. He also coordinates the California Table for Immigration Reform, the Los Angeles Action Table, and the Defend DACA team. Polo?
Thank you so much for the invitation to speak today. And also just want to say our Rigo's glasses and mine match. We decided on blue, but he pressed his suit before the pandemic started. I didn't. So this is why I'm wearing a t-shirt. So let me get started. I'm here to talk about the disaster relief assistance for immigrants. So this is a program at the state level. And this program, it has come about really from a lot of advocacy that has taken place, immigrant rights organizations, community organizations, our elected officials really listening to the needs of the immigrant community to be able to come about. And so thanks to that advocacy for many, many years, we know that immigrants pay taxes. We know that immigrants help to make our state stronger, our country stronger. And for this reason, the governor had announced about 2 weeks ago this program that is going to help people be able to get by a little bit, during the tough times right now as we're sheltering in place and we're having an economic impact because of this pandemic. So I'm going to give a brief overview in terms of what the program is, how it functions, what's the time frame, a little bit of background information, but a lot of this information is already readily available online. And so I'll give the information in terms of our website and other partner organizations that are doing this program, helping and assisting people, and also phone numbers for folks to be able to call. So I can also send that out to Anna to be able to do that. So what is the Disaster Relief Assistance for Immigrants program? So the DRIVE program, or DRAVE program as we're calling it, is a one-time state-funded disaster relief assistance for undocumented adult immigrants impacted by COVID-19. So an undocumented adult who qualifies can receive a $500 in direct assistance with a maximum of $1,000 in assistance per household. And so this program would help about 150,000 immigrants across the state of California. And so we have to remember that 150,000 undocumented immigrants is out of the 2.6 million that exists here in California, is only about 6% of the total undocumented population. And so we also have to continue to advocate, and why the HEROES Act is so important at the federal level, that it passed, and it passed the House and the Senate, because what it does is it allows the state of California to be able to be creative in exploring ways to support our immigrant families here at home. And so it's a one-time stimulus, relief effort for $500 in direct assistance, $1,000 for per household. And so when and how can someone apply? So someone can begin applying, and the way you apply is by calling a phone number, which I'll give out in just a little bit. But the program will begin at 9 a.m. sharp on May 18th. So that's Monday, May 18th. And the program will run its course until funds run out, or until June 30th. So we have a very limited time frame in order to help people assist them in applying for this. So individuals will only be allowed to receive the DRE application assistance from nonprofit organizations assigned to their county or region. And so the good news is we have 3 organizations that are doing that here in the county of Los Angeles. The first being Asian Americans Advancing Justice LA, the second being Carecen, and the third being CHIRLA. And so CHIRLA is taking the bulk of the help for folks here in LA County, in the tens of thousands of folks that we're going to be able to help, which is good news. But our partners are also going to be able to help in that regard to make sure that we help as many people that desperately need this as soon as possible. And so we will be in charge as nonprofit organizations to get information from people, and then be able to reach out to the folks that call us and follow up with them to make sure that their documentation, their eligibility is squared off on our end, and then information is passed on to the state. And I'll talk about it in terms of confidentiality and security regarding that. Next we have is what are the program eligibility requirements. So the requirements are that you are an undocumented adult over the age of 18. That's the first. The second is you're not eligible for federal COVID-19 related assistance like the CARES Act. And so there was no stimulus check for your family. That's how you would be able to qualify as well. The third is you have experienced a hardship as a result of COVID-19. That COVID-19 hardship means that you have lost hours at your job, you lost your job, you are caring for someone that has COVID-19, or your family, your children are home from school because of the pandemic, and so you have to take care of them. So there's a little bit of flexibility in that regard, which is good to be able to help our immigrant community. And so those are the 3 requirements. So in terms of documents that an individual needs to apply, there's going to be a little more in terms of guidelines, which will be present on the websites for everybody, for Advancing Justice, for CARECEN and CHIRLA, to be able to help folks, gather the information that they need in order to prepare for this program. And so they have to be able, applicants need to verify their identity, their home or mailing address, and show that they've been impacted by COVID-19. And so, and also just to note that this is not a public charge issue. So folks that are trying to apply for a green card for permanent residency, this does not fall under a public charge. And so the federal government does not list this assistance as a public benefit or a public charge consideration. However, the USCIS has not issued any guidance related to that. And so as long as there isn't any guidance and it's actual state money, it doesn't have much bearing in terms of, trying to adjust status. So that's very important to note. Is the personal information shared in the application process kept confidential? Yes. The nonprofit organization will provide general demographic information to the state of California about applicants, but none of the personal information will be given to any government agency. And so folks can rest assured that as they're applying and giving documents to be able to prove their eligibility, none of that information is going to go to the state. And so that, really makes it so it's a safe and secure program that people can apply to and feel confident about it. So in terms of receiving the actual relief assistance, it's going to be in the form of a payment card. So what this payment card does, it's charged. It means it has, once activated, $502.50. So you can actually go to a bank and extract cash, or you can use the card as a debit card at a local store to buy food, to be able to pay for toiletries, different supplies, that kind of thing. And so this activation happens upon the completion of the actual, the application process. So, if you can imagine CHIRLA getting a bunch of blank cards that are not active until the process is finished for that individual. And then once the individual gets the card, they then have to activate it on their end as well. So it's a very secure process in that regard. And we also want to make sure that people know the majority of what we're trying to do is to mail out these cards. So folks get them in the mail, number one. Number two, we're trying to limit the exposure that folks, with this pandemic, we don't want people getting sick. So folks, some people will be able to drive up curbside, prove their identity, and then get their card. We're trying to, logistically figure that out in a very safe way. And then the least amount of number of people would be, we would actually try to figure out a way to drop it off for them. And so, again, a lot of this has really making sure that our staff and the people that we encounter are safe in that regard. So if folks have, just in terms of how the disbursement would be taking place. So there's information that I can provide afterwards that has the link for all the websites and the hotlines. So the hotline numbers that Advancing Justice, CARECEN, and CHIRLA have are all different numbers. So that's important to note. The websites are also different. And so they're different because we're trying to tailor to different types of communities. And so for Advancing Justice, they'll be reaching out, or the folks that can reach out in terms of language capacity is something that's very key. So the folks that speak Arabic or Bengali, Chinese, Cantonese, and Mandarin, Farsi, Hindi, Khmer, Korean, Punjabi, Tagalog, Thai, Urdu, and Vietnamese. And they're also looking to hire more folks that can do the language aspect of this. In terms of their capacity, they're trying to make sure that these communities have translation to be able to get the help they need. For CARECEN, they're going to be focused in a lot of the indigenous languages on top of focusing on English and Spanish. And so Quechua and a lot of the indigenous Mayan languages that exist, folks would be able to get support there. And then CHIRLA, English, Spanish is the capacity that we have right now. And we want to make sure that folks understand that if they kind of decide where to go, all that information will be provided. And so, you know, that information will be readily available. It's already out there on the internet. You know, folks can visit the CHIRLA website. It's irelief.chirla.org. So I as in, you know, the letter I, relief.chirla.org. And it has a little countdown there. It has the phone number, which is 213-201-8700. It's not active until 9 a.m. on Monday morning. And so Carecen again has their own hotline, and Asian Americans Advancing Justice has their own hotline as well, and we'll be able to provide that. And we'll be helping folks in Los Angeles County, and then Asian Americans Advancing Justice and CHIRLA will also be helping folks in Orange County. So if you want to be helping disseminate or give information to friends or family that live outside of the county, that's great, it's helpful. The other is only 12 organizations in the state are helping and assisting with this fund. And so we have a list that I can also provide. It's a link by the Department of Social Services, and folks that click on it will be able to have the list of which organizations and which county and what contact information and what website they can visit to get more information about the program locally to them. And so today, you know, thanks to Congresswoman Roybal-Allard, we're focused, you know, more on Los Angeles County. We have the largest number of undocumented immigrants, and so it's important to remember we fought for this, we got this, which is great. A federal, you know, package that helps, you know, immigrant families in California would help to close the gap that exists at the state level right now that the governor announced yesterday. And it would also be able to, again, you know, we could look at options for helping our community, you know, in this time of need. And so I'm going to stop here. Again, all this information is available online. And, you know, through the hotline beginning on Monday, the 18th of May at 9 a.m. is when folks can start calling in, or visit the website irelief.chirla.org for more information leading up to that. And so with that, I will end with one last thing. We are expecting a DACA announcement to be happening, you know, all the way up until June, but the next possibility is Monday. And so we're gearing up to have a response and making sure that, you know, the tens of thousands of DACA recipients that help during this pandemic, that are essential workers that are out there risking their lives and staying safe, to make sure that we have food on our table, to make sure that we are cared for if we get sick. It would be a tragedy if, you know, their work permits were pulled at this point. And so, you know, we're thankful we have champions like Congresswoman Roybal-Allard that are trying to do something about it at the federal level. But if the Supreme Court rules against DACA recipients, then we have to be very, very creative in how we're going to be able to help one another during this time. So I just remind folks again, we are stronger together. We're going to continue to get through this pandemic, and we, you know, always have to remember our immigrant community is very important to, you know, strengthening our country and our state. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you, Ana.
Okay, thank you very much, Polo. I'm sorry, I'm getting the feedback again. Can you try muting yourself, Polo, see if that helps? Oh, I think it's gone. Okay, so we have just about 5 minutes for questions. So again, want to remind you all, if you did not RSVP, please go ahead and email the RSVP email address with your contact information, and we can then send you an email either tonight or over the weekend with the phone numbers and the website links that have been mentioned on the call. If you have a pressing question, please unmute yourself by dialing *6. And you can do that now if you have a question.
Hello, I have a question.
Okay, and then I will go through and call people. The person that spoke, go ahead and provide your question, but I will go ahead and look through for people that are unmuted, and I will call you either by your name, if I see your name, or the last 4 digits of your phone number, if all I see is a phone number. Okay, the first question. Who was that spoke? Go ahead with your question.
Sorry, is the way that it works is on Monday at 9 a.m. folks will be calling in and if there's an answer, they'll be talking to someone, and if not, there's going to be a voicemail, and then they'll expect a call back. And is that what it is? They'll be calling into a queue or a voicemail or something like that?
So the way that's going to work for the disaster relief program is folks will call in. We're going to have people that are ready on the phones to be able to receive the calls. And so, you know, we just encourage folks, like the first couple of days is going to be very hectic. We encourage folks to keep trying to make sure that they get in.
Okay, thank you, Polo. Next question, caller, last 4 digits, 8921.
Hi. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I have a question. So let's say both of the parents know immigration status, but the father is the only one that works. Will both of them be applying for this type of support, or will it only be the head of household?
So in terms of the disaster relief, again, the way that it works is if you've lost hours or lost your job. So if you're still working, technically you would not qualify. So the person that is not working would qualify or lost hours. And there's no like limit or, you know, not related to how much money you make a year or anything like that. It's based on need.
Okay, so let's say that the mom that is a stay-home mom, she will not be able to get the benefit?
So the way that she would be able to qualify is her children are not going to school because of COVID-19.
I
so
see.
someone has to care for them, right?
I see. Thank you very much.
Okay, next question, caller with last 4 digits, 1470. Last 4 digits, 1470.
Oh, I already asked my question.
Oh, okay. Okay, last 4 digits, 3363.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, hi. First of all, thank you for giving all these questions. It really helps. But the question that I have is, first, I wanted to ask, the CARES Act. What if I don't know if like DACA recipients were able to, or students that are undocumented, if they are parents and they didn't receive a stimulus check, can they still apply even though maybe they got money from their university?
Polo, I'm not sure if you know the answer to that. I don't. I mean, I actually thought that DACA recipients did not get
So
financial support from the university.
yeah, so if you have a work permit and you're working, right, then you're not technically under this program. If that makes sense.
Oh, okay, got it. And then I was going to ask another additional question. Besides the stimulus, the resources here, is there any information on what's going to happen for healthcare for undocumented immigrants?
So Rigo, do you want to answer actually? I think there's my.
Sure. So yeah, thank you. That's a really good question. I have mentioned that in LA County, the most populous county in the state, there is health care coverage for anyone who doesn't have a medical insurance, irrespective of their immigration status or ability to pay. So the way it works is if a person is under 25 years old, they qualify for full Medi-Cal through the state funded program. In the county, the Department of Public Social Services administers the enrollment for Medi-Cal for county residents. So anyone who needs to know how to go about doing it, they can call our office and we will walk them through the information and then connect them to the right place. That's for Medi-Cal up to 25 years old. And again, undocumented immigrants qualify for it. Now, how about people who are 26 and up? And they still qualify for limited Medi-Cal, which is generally emergency situations and prenatal care. That's been the case and continues to be so. But other preventative and all kinds of health care, we have a program in the Department of Health Services. We call it My Health LA. And think of it as Medi-Cal in the sense that it provides an insurance policy type of coverage that once a person gets enrolled, then the person can go to a participating clinic in the community. Throughout the county, we have more than 200 that will provide comprehensive health care help for anyone who is enrolled. And My Health LA is not impacted, again, by the immigration status of the person. And certainly it will be someone who is low income, who meets the income guidelines, who has no ability to pay, and who doesn't have other type of medical insurance. So all that to say that in the county, all residents have access to medical health care, irrespective of their immigration status, either through the Medi-Cal coverage or through the My Health.
Okay, thank you for that. My apologies. I know that there are a couple more questions, but unfortunately we're out of time because we have to prepare for the 4 o'clock call in Spanish. So in closing, I want to again remind you all that if you did not RSVP, please RSVP so that we can have your contact information and we can send you the website links and phone numbers that were mentioned during the call. Okay, and thank you all for participating in the call today. And on behalf of Congresswoman Lucille Roybal-Allard, thank you all for your courage in the midst of this historic pandemic. And thank you for what each and every one of you is doing to protect your family and to help us conquer this insidious virus by staying home and keeping physical distancing. This is critical as we work to determine how fast we can reopen more segments of our communities. Thank you all once again, and we will get through this together.